So, do you have trouble setting boundaries in your business? I know that I did. As a matter of fact, it's something that I still grapple with today. I'm really good with boundaries in my personal life, but when it comes to my business is kind of like my baby and my boyfriend and my best friend. And so, so my business can kind of really take up a lot of time and space. And today we are going to be talking about, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? What are we going to do about that? So many women coaches entered entrepreneurship specifically to create freedom for themselves. They wanted freedom in their time, they wanted freedom to choose how they work, with whom they work, where they work in the world. And what many of them really discover instead is that building a business demands more time from them and more energy and more focus than any bossy employer ever did. So I noticed personally that the hours filled up and my energy depleted before the work actually like started paying me back through income and impact. And because boundaries have been framed as more of a personal development concept rather than a business infrastructure decision, the solution kind of gets pushed into the category of things to work on someday. It just doesn't seem important enough. So, like, we tend to think, oh, after my launch, I'm going to set some boundaries. Or after I get this one project done, I'm going to set some boundaries. Well, the thing is, things don't actually ever settle down. Instead, it can actually compound and you can find yourself getting busier and busier and busier. So, today I'm going to be talking with several expert coaches about the importance of setting boundaries in your business. So, on our panel today, we have leading authority on influence and visibility, Dr. Richard Kay. We have confidence coach Liz Rankin, financial leadership guide and energy strategist Jennifer Seibert, and clarity catalyst and flow guide Susan Winner. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
All right. So, friends, I want to get you all in this conversation right away. And I've got some questions for you, which I didn't actually get to get those printed out. But let me ask you all to kind of just describe for us, what are boundaries? And maybe can you give us some ideas of some of the boundaries that you establish for yourself in your business? Who wants to lead us off?
All right, it's a shy group, so I'll lead it off. And what a privilege to be among such amazing women. Thank you for the introduction and connection, Crystal. And if you don't have boundaries, basically you're screwed because everyone runs over you. And then many people without boundaries begin to claim I'm a victim because I let someone else walk over me. So, I laugh because you talk about business boundaries and how many people start a business to have free time. Hello, that ain't it. We were on a company call last night, Sunday night, and I made a comment. One of the very few things I miss when I was practicing chiropractic in San Diego was locking the door at 6 o'clock on Thursday night and opening at 10 on Monday morning. There was nothing else. It was just, Monday to Thursday. And as I said, last night was a 2-hour call on a Sunday night. When you're growing a business, no matter what level you're at, you have to have boundaries. My boundary back then was I didn't see patients on weekends. And today you call any doctor's office and it says, hey, if it's an emergency, dial 911. Boundaries are one of the very best ways to claim your life. Thank you, Crystal.
Absolutely, Richard. I agree with you 100%. I'm in launch season. Is anybody else launching right now? Nobody's launching right now.
All the time.
Yeah.
Wait, all the time.
All
Liz,
the time.
that sounds so, okay, wait, you can't be
That
launching.
needs a boundary. That needs a boundary in itself.
That needs a boundary right there.
Right.
Who else wants to chime in about setting boundaries in their business? What do you know? What do you experience?
Well, I've been working with entrepreneurs and for a long time, since my 20s. And if you look at work, right? Like now that we have phones and our email is on our phones and the direct messages and all that kind of stuff, I was really fortunate that I did this for myself before the phone email ever existed. But when I walked out office doors, or however the door for the business was imaginary created, I did not check email. I did not make phone calls after certain hours. And I did that because when I didn't, I had anxiety. Like I would start working. If I started checking an email at 7 p.m. or something like that, I would start solving a problem. Or maybe there was something like sometimes some clients, everything's an emergency for them. And those are the clients that really taught me to install this boundary, because everything was an emergency. Mm-hmm. And I was having panic attacks on Sunday night. I was having, those types of feelings coming up for me, and it sucked. And so I really did this at a very young age, in my early 20s, to stop looking, because if I don't see it, I don't feel it, right? Like I don't feel your emergency problem if I never know what is there. So, but on Monday morning, when I have my hat on or when I'm ready to do the work, I have no problem with your emergency. But when I'm trying to relax, your emergency invades my time. Yeah. And invades my body. Like we're lots of coaches that are watching this summit. We're empathic. We're feeling your stuff, right? And so we have, we work on having energetic boundaries so that we don't take on your things. But for business purposes, we really have to be even like another layer of literal boundaries, rules that we have to live by. And that's one of my rules, is I don't check. Like Sunday last night, I'm doing a book launch signing thing, and texts were coming in at 7 p.m. on my phone. I just let them come in. I did not read them till today.
Yeah, that's
even though they were not emergencies, there was nothing there. I just was not in work mode.
Yeah, I love that. And I have to say, look, if you are watching this right now, we are all speakers on the Liberated Coach Summit, and we are helping women break free from the shackles that are keeping them stuck in their businesses. If you want to join the summit, we have a link for you in the comments. Zaina is going to drop that link, that's for sure. Thank you, Zaina. But please get yourself signed up. It's absolutely free to attend. Each one of the guests here, well, there are 20 summit speakers all together, but all of us who are here are offering you a free gift as well as a really in-depth discussion about what's holding your business back. So go ahead, sign up for free, and also make sure you get the free gifts that we are offering. So I have a question for you all out there, for our speakers here. Let's talk about boundary setting. And I want to know the difference between these two things. Now, there's kind of a boundary that can create a distance between you and something, but there's also some kind of a boundary that can create clarity. How does a coach know if she's creating a boundary that is creating clarity, or she's creating a boundary that is just kind of keeping her distant, or maybe kind of outside, or maybe I should even say disconnected? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll tackle this one. Well, I feel like a lot of it is trial and error, right? Like, and a lot of it is for me as a woman's tuition. We'll have to see what Dr. K says about that. But if you feel like there's a need for a boundary coming up, there's something internal inside saying, like, maybe something happened in the past, maybe something is coming up subconsciously that is your intuition, your gut is saying there needs to be a boundary. And the thing with boundaries is it's not all or nothing. Once the boundary is set, like, it can be removed. So there's nothing that, like, once the boundary is set, you can see if it works, if it doesn't work. But also there's a reason for the boundary, the need that you're feeling inside for a boundary in the first place. And I feel like that there's something in the universe, something that God is sending that's going to create room for whatever that next thing is. But as long as you keep ignoring the need for that boundary, ignoring your intuition, you'll never have the room for it to show up over here on this other end. So don't feel like boundaries are all or nothing. You can set it and take it back. You can change your mind. You have the right to do that and pivot at any moment. But just like business in general, it's trial and error. Just test something, see if it works, come back, pull it back, pivot. But yeah, internally, I always feel like there's something that's telling me I need a boundary here. And you can feel it in your body when you do need to set a boundary. And then it makes space on the other end to create or offer a different opportunity, or for someone else to come along and share whatever that next step in your business is.
I really love that. Has anybody experienced discomfort when setting boundaries?
Absolutely.
Susan, do you want to speak to that? Where does that discomfort come from, and how do we deal with it?
Well, for me, I'm a people pleaser, right? I am a codependent in recovery. So I have become very good at boundary setting, first in my personal life, right? And also in my business life. And on the business too, I'm always working on it. And sometimes you mentioned something about being disconnecting. A boundary sets that. That's not it's a good thing sometimes. Because you do, like you said, Liz, you need to create space for other things. And until you set that boundary and actually disconnect from certain things, and that's what I've learned to do in my codependent life, right? I need to separate from certain things. That's bigger than even boundaries to create, although they're important too. So, you know, and it's uncomfortable when you do that, right? When you set that distance boundary, particularly for me, it's extremely uncomfortable at times. Other times I wait so long, it comes really easily. So I have to say, it could go either way.
Crystal, you asked about feeling guilty or uncomfortable about it. And Susan, one of my favorite quotes, and why would we feel that? Because we're concerned about what someone else thinks about us. Who cares?
Right.
One of my favorite quotations is from Eleanor Roosevelt, who's credited with saying, "What you think of me is none of my business."
Yeah.
You know, if someone thinks badly of you for creating a boundary, that's their problem, not yours.
Right.
And, you know, as a people pleaser, Susan, I can understand. I'm not that anymore. As decades gone, I don't care what people think of me.
I mostly don't.
Yeah. When you claim your power and you stand rooted in your power, and again, I go back to Eleanor Roosevelt. I don't care what they think of me. Some are going to love me, all of us. Some are going to hate us. Some are just, they don't know what to do. And their confusion is not our responsibility.
Right. You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So
Yeah, I feel, you know, in my own self, I'm a people pleaser. And at the same time, there's more, I've become less of a people pleaser. But what's happening now is I notice that there is more willingness to focus on my own thoughts and to control my own thinking. So, you know, I don't have the space to think about what other people think about me because I'm so busy with my own creations, like putting this together. There were so many objections that came up, well, what if this doesn't go right? And what is this person saying? And what are they thinking? And, all my mentors who told me that this was not the right way to do things, all of that needed to be laid aside, but it needed to be replaced with a different voice. And I chose my own voice instead. So I think you all are speaking so strongly. And so,
Congratulations. Your
Thank
voice is, it's your show. It's the only thing that matters.
exactly.
Right. I sometimes pride myself on being selfish, not self-centered, but I'm happy that I am selfish. I really think that makes a difference in our world. It's what you're talking about, and so that's really helped me a lot. And the other thing is creating boundaries on the other side of it. You talked about that too, right? The ones where we create. That's so important too, because if we're not seeing ourselves moving forward and we're allowing other things to distract us, it just really slows us down. Yeah. So it's important. We were talking today, I had a couple of people got together and we were talking about setting intentions for the week and then setting, your reward for following through. It's like that one step beyond accountability that would keep you on track. So if I say I'm going to make 3 phone calls, I'm going to reach out to X amount of people and I'm going to do a live and I get that done by Friday, I actually give myself a reward for that.
Yeah.
And if I don't get the reward. So, and I've experienced both, but I think it's a great tool to really keep yourself saying no to the things that aren't going to get you what you want to accomplish, and then just saying yes to the things that really are. And that kind of helps draw that line too. That's another tip or trick that I use. So
what are some of the things that women are saying yes to in their coaching businesses that maybe they should be saying no to? Can anybody come up with some of those ideas?
I can.
I would go ahead, Liz, and then I'll chime in.
Yeah, I think it is it's a time thing. I will give you every bit of me, like Jennifer was saying, like late hours, early morning. They feel like they need to be available in order to, it usually comes down to price, the value of it. It's like if I'm charging a lot, I need to give them more time. Whereas that is absolutely not what's happening here. It's the transformation, it's the result that you're providing. It has nothing to do with the time. I remember a story about someone going into a dentist's office and they had this really bad cavity and they sat down in the chair and the dentist got it taken care of within 15 minutes. And he was like, that'll be $3,000. And the patient was like, what? $3,000 for 15 minutes? And he was like, well, you want me to take more time? You can sit back down for 6 more hours. It's still going to be $3,000. What are we talking about here? Right. So I think for women who are coaches, who are in the business industry, that it's about getting them the result. That is what the value, that is what the price is. So put more time restrictions on your time. Your time is precious. And like Dr. Kay was saying, we're all in this for time freedom, to spend more time with our families, our lives. That's why we're in business. So I think even for me, I had to get out of the mindset, I don't need to give every hour to my clients to be able to provide an amazing service to them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Susan, you want to go in with that also?
I agree, but I was listening to Liz and now I can't remember what I was going to say, to be honest with you.
That's okay. No problem. No problem.
She was that profound.
She kind of did. She kind of bottom lined it there for us.
Yep.
I felt my old self come up in that message.
For sure.
Because I was definitely that girl. Yes.
Jennifer, what about you?
Yeah. Well, I was actually working through something today. I'm in Canada, right? I'm in Canada. And so I was charging in Canadian dollars, but I have a ton of expenses in US dollars. And the exchange rate is the pits for Canadians. Okay. It's almost like 1.5. Almost. It feels like. And I had to make a decision today. And I had a client who wanted to was at a renewal. And I want to change my system today to see if to change it to US pricing because I need to be on par with everybody else in the industry, and I'm international. I'm not just Canadian.
Yeah, why should you show up like you're some kind of cheap goods, like you're underpriced
Yeah.
because you're in Canada? It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So I made that decision. And so I wrote a nice, beautiful email to her and said, you know, I want to give you the option, the opportunity to pay at the Canadian price and save, you know, a lot of money before I press the button in my system. And I'm so happy I did that. But while I was doing it, I was actually like doing a self-coaching thing with it myself because I have this need to like want people to feel really good. You know, like I want them to feel good about what they're paying for, the value they're receiving, but also I don't want to like just switch on them without giving them a courtesy, right? Like I wanted to give her a courtesy instead of forcing her into, well, too bad I already changed my price, you know, like and this is a long-term person, but I didn't want to like draw it out. So I have, you know, because like I don't like asking for money because there's this thing about boundaries too, is like your tolerations, what you tolerate about your own behaviors comes up. Your inner child stuff comes up. Like, I mean, all kinds of stuff comes up when you're faced with a business decision that can really support you.
Yep.
Because it's a shift that's uncomfortable. So then that uncomfortable stuff comes up again. It's like, ugh, I know I'm supposed to do this, but maybe I need to wait for her to renew first, you know, so you can put all these like obstacles in your way. But I sent an email and she made a decision immediately and I pressed the button immediately. And so it was so worth facing that boundary that needs to be set. Like, I don't need to underprice myself in an international market here just because I live in Canada.
Beautiful. That's I think that's something we can all be thinking about. And, you know, I'm in California versus someone who is maybe in Iowa, right? The cost of living is different, the pricing is different. And very often in my certification program, I would, you know, have women from all over the US. And they would, you know, the Californians and the East Coast people would be like, yeah, that's a reasonable price for your certification. Whereas someone in the Midwest would be like, what is that? I've never spent that much money on something before, you know? And I think that there's a way to, you know, number one, help people see your value and help to see the value of what you're bringing, but also to kind of, you know, be gentle like you did. You gave her the option, you let her know. And I think that was really, you know, very generous of you.
And Crystal, Lynn, and Jennifer, this is just a different perspective. If you're cheap, and I'm not saying you are, but if someone perceives you as cheap, they're going to wonder why. If you're ordering crap from China, from Temu, you know it's cheap. The same product, and I don't care where you are, is often house name products are often made by major companies. And people perceive the more expensive you are, the better you are. It's perceived value. And decades ago, when I was very early into my chiropractic practice, I'll give you how long ago, you'll get an idea. It was $17 a visit. Okay. I mean, we're talking, yeah. And I said, I'm going to raise my price to 21. And the whole organization said, you can't do that. You got to go to 19. Then a year later, I said, what? You're going to lose clients. Well, I said, screw that. I raised my fees to 21 a visit. And they're right. I did lose 2 clients and I gained 6 more because of perceived value. Now, I'm not saying raise your prices that are ridiculous, but who do you want as a client? You want someone who's scraping the floorboards to be able to pay you. And I'm not negating them. We've got lots of clients who come in at a low level for publicity. And we got people who pay us hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who would you rather have as a client? I can only show you my experience the people who pay the fewest dollars are the ones who complain the most and take most of your time. And everyone's shaking.
Amen, Dr. Richard.
Absolutely. And ask for a refund after it.
Right?
Yes.
So, okay. So we're understanding that there are these kind of opportunities for us to establish boundaries in our personal lives. But now I want to ask about personal boundaries within ourselves. So I personally have been notorious for setting boundaries with myself and then overstepping my own boundaries. And for example, I'm just going to give you an example so you know what I'm talking about. But I might say to myself, hey, I am going to eat in this food window and eat based on these healthy, nutritious meals that I have thought through. I have put time into creating a menu for a food plan. I have prepped the meals. And when it comes down to eating the proper portion, which I have weighed out and understood that it is correct, it is the right amount of food to eat based on the number of calories that I've burned. And I will have that and then step over that boundary and then eat tomorrow's meal prepped plan and meal prepped food as well. So that is a very clear example of setting a boundary and then stepping over that boundary. Can anyone speak to those kinds of internal battles and what maybe you can recommend we do about those? Do you have any recommendations for how to deal with that?
Well, one of the things is what I talked about just a few minutes ago, and that is use a reward system for yourself like you would with your child or like, and that really has worked for me and a lot of people that I know. And you can do it small, incremental, right? And of course, have an accountability buddy, I like to call them. Somebody's going to hold you accountable because I know for me and most people I know, I'll do something for somebody else before I'll break my boundary, but not somebody else's. So if I tell you that I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, you better believe I'm going to do it because I gave you my word I was going to do it. On the other hand, like for this weekend, I had to go in. I decided I wanted to go in and gather some templates and switch some things on my website. But it was also July 4th weekend. And so July 4th weekend won out. And I didn't do what I needed to do in my mind. Because one of the things, and I speak to this a lot, Chris, we've talked about personalities. One of the things about my personality is I believe I can do it tomorrow or later. There's no urgency on that part of my personality type. And sometimes that part wins. I'm more conscious of it because I understand me and what my operating system is, but it still, gets me from time to time. And so I evaluate, right? And I decided it's more important to spend time with family and friends than it was to gather those templates. And I do believe I made a good decision. I'm not saying that I didn't. I consciously did it. But if I had told somebody I was going to get those templates done, guess what? I would have done both. Right? But I let me off the hook too easily sometimes. So that's where that reward thing comes in. Okay, you can go play with the kids as soon as you get your templates done, right? That simplest little things. I'm not talking about, take yourself out for a gourmet dinner, just tiny little things that are important to you would make such a difference, And the other thing is following your calendar, committing to your calendar that your calendar is your employer. That's your boss. And if you put it on the calendar, it's happening. And nothing is going to interrupt because that's your appointment, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't miss an appointment with a client.
No.
So why would you miss an appointment with you or with that activity? So that's helped me a lot too in allocating my time and staying on track. So those are two things that I used.
That's beautiful. Does anybody else want to speak to that?
Personal lifestyle changes, like a permanent lifestyle change, is not the easiest thing to implement. And if rewards don't work for you, my way is noticing. Like just start watching why, like go into the feelings you're having when you have this, when you don't follow through. what is going on? Like, why do you keep going over your boundary? Because maybe you're not eating enough, but maybe you're still hungry. Like, maybe you literally need to make a bigger portion in this example, right?
Sure.
But if you look at other, there's unhealthy feeling habits that we have that interfere with our business success. And it requires a permanent lifestyle change. And that's usually what you're seeing a coach for too. Like, it's one of those things that you're seeing a coach for. And it's also one of those things that you don't want to tell your coach about.
Yeah.
I'm going to just hide this from my coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's like shame, guilt, or whatever around it.
Absolutely.
Addictive personality
So
coping
now-
mechanism that you have. And I've had lots of them. So whatever.
And then yeah, right.
Whenever I've tried to change something and I'm like making it really hard on myself, and I'm noticing that I'm not following through, I need to look at what is really going on. Like, what am I feeling here? Why? Because there's usually something else around relationship issues. Maybe you have money stress. Maybe there's a debt thing. There is something else going on that is connected to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel that too. I make a promise to myself that I'm going to do YouTube video. And then I'm like making it the excuses like Jennifer's talking about, like, well, do I start a new channel? I have my podcast channel, but this is different. So now I need to start a whole new channel, and I come up with this whole list of things that I need to do. I think the one thing that has worked for me the most is, and I coach this to my clients, is always go back to your why. Why did you promise to yourself that you were going to do the YouTube video in the first place? Or why did you say you were going to eat healthy in the first place? Whatever that why is. And for me, when I peel back, like, well, I'm doing it for my clients. Like, I want people to live the best life possible. I want them to start their business. I want them to grow their wealth. I want them to do things that they love and they're passionate about, and why they're here on earth, and spread the ripple effect, right? The legacy that I'm building for my daughters. Even though it just seems like I missed recording a single YouTube video, I actually delayed what would be possible for me and my daughters and traveling the world and freedom. And then I delayed my clients' progress because I didn't put the content out there, which is powerful. So I think, and I keep like a list of my whys. Here are my million whys why I'm doing this. And going back to that list really grounds me to say, listen, this is just an hour that you feel like it's not a big deal, but it is actually a huge deal, because every little thing is a small win in the progress, the momentum that you're building moving forward.
Absolutely. Just showing up is a win, even if you show up and it's just tiny, for sure. For sure. And bringing this back into business, what is a business like? If there's been a business that has been without boundaries, right? What does that business look like from the inside? What is the kind of version that women coaches are experiencing in this work, building a business without boundaries?
I'll give you one word: chaos. Take it where you want. Chaos.
That was what it came up, chaotic.
Me too.
It was looking really messy in my visualization. Yeah, chaos.
It's the puzzle pieces where they're just been dumped out and everything is scattered, and the puzzle pieces need to be you need to do the border. You need to start working on this piece of the puzzle and getting it back together, because it, like Dr. K said, chaotic for sure.
And then turn the puzzle upside down, so all you have are shapes. Right.
Right. Right. No clues. Does anybody want to speak about any specifics of what that could look like?
I want to go back to what you said before. You feel guilty about it. Yeah. Then you get to play victim to yourself. Set a boundary, you violate it. And then someone said, it comes from, I think it was Jennifer who said, it's an age-old thing from our parents, our priests, our rabbis, our teachers, who put boundaries on us that we didn't understand. We didn't know why. And we still live those, and then we pass that crap on to our kids.
Mm.
So we the biggest thing in my world is taking responsibility for who you are. And I don't deal with boundaries, but I do, like you put something on the calendar, you want to record something. And if it doesn't get done, I literally take it from my calendar from today and put it till tomorrow. Unless it's critical, then it becomes a must do.
Mhm.
And, we're all guilty of that. Every human being is guilty of that. It's how do you deal with it? If you look at it, I mean, and Crystal Lynn, with your diet, what happens when a good piece of chocolate, dark chocolate, shows up with the diet?
Well,
You know?
that's always in the room. Got to be honest with you. That's a
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of the plan.
And I don't feel we need to justify to ourselves. In my world, well, that's interesting. I didn't do that. Next, it's not happening now. Next, move on.
Mm.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So going back to this idea of chaos, what does that look like? Have you all, and let me ask you, who has experienced chaos in their own business?
I have.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I think we all have,
Yeah. For me,
because there's no book
please go
written.
ahead.
Yeah, no
Mhm.
book written on how to go from becoming, I mean, I'm sure there is, but how to go from becoming an employee to an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
So, you figure it out as you go a lot of times, right? And so I know for me, I did the big leap, right? I left corporate America because one day I said, I don't know whether I've gone insane or come to my senses, but I think I need to quit my job tomorrow. And so I did before I
Mhm.
chickened out. And it was the best decision I ever made. But then I had to figure everything out, right? So
Before you took a nap, Susan? Yes.
exactly. Exactly. Fortunately, I had a lot of support in my world for that too. But
Excellent. Yeah.
and that's sometimes you just have to take the leap, but then it creates potential chaos.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I think the important thing is as you're traveling on that journey is that you take a little thing, not think you're going to transform your business overnight, but transform your business little by little every day. So if you have the pattern that you're going to respond to your clients days, evenings, weekends, whenever, right? Now you're going to set a boundary for that. And that's going to be uncomfortable in the beginning. But it's one way to free up all kinds of time for yourself.
Mhm.
And I can tell you that your clients will respect you for it. They
Mhm.
will. They will understand and they'll respect you more than, like Dr. Richard was referring to, you taking their calls anytime, anywhere, easy peasy, right?
Mhm.
And so there's not as much value there in their minds, perceived value, right? Because, oh, no big deal. She'll take my call anytime, anywhere, and isn't that weird? I wouldn't want a business like that. So what are you modeling? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
like I said, it's taking little things at a time, not taking on the whole thing. We talked about the chaos in so many things you had to do. One of the major things that I learned was that I would always accomplish all I'm meant to do every day, and I will never accomplish all I want to do or think I need to do.
Mhm.
When I switched from I've got to, I have to, I need to I get to, right? Then it made a huge difference. And I added to that, I'll accomplish everything that I'm meant to do every day, as opposed to everything I have to do today. That was huge for me. So I try and share that with as many people as possible because that cuts down on the chaos. That cuts down on the overwhelm, on the guilt, and if historically, if you look back, you will always accomplish all you were meant to do that day.
Mhm.
If you look backwards, right? Now I laugh every day and I say, okay, I have a plan and then God runs the show. So that's just how it goes for me.
Right.
Yep.
I have
And
a
I
show.
go with
God
it.
runs the show.
Exactly.
Right.
And I go with it and it's comfortable for me because I have that confidence in knowing I will actually accomplish everything that's important to be done. So those are a couple of my things.
Well, one of the things I found is that my world was very chaotic when I didn't have clear messaging. So Liz and I, before we got on the call, we were kind of talking about like that phase where you don't quite know what to call
Really?
yourself, or there's just, you haven't quite figured out what your business is. And it's not that you don't have boundaries around what you're doing, but you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so I found that there was a lot of chaos that showed up in my content creation. I didn't know what to post on social media. I would post one thing, I'd get a great idea and I'd create a bunch of content and great images, videos, and then all of a sudden that would kind of peter out because it wasn't really what I was supposed to be doing. And so I found that that was quite chaotic, a very chaotic time for me because I was all over the place and nothing stood. Like there was nothing compounding. It was like having all these different things spread out and
Yeah.
nothing actually was building. And I found that to be very difficult in my business.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that, Crystal, and especially when it comes to content. I think because everyone is saying post content, you're like, okay, well, this, let me pull this here, and just post about it. I also think what's coming up for me is like too many items on the menu. So like for me, I create offers and I'm like, do I offer digital products? Do I offer high ticket coaching? Do I offer helping my clients build memberships? And as a people pleaser and overcoming, setting boundaries, it's like, well, the client is asking for this. So do I tailor it to them exactly what they want? And then you find yourself offering one-on-one services. And then you find your time is gone again because you can't streamline anything into like a group coaching program. So that's where the chaos is coming out for me. And I think even we all make this mistakes. Even Starbucks has made this mistake. They said recently they went down to like a certain number of menu items. I don't know, 37 off of 120 or whatever, because they were like, we're still getting this. I think they actually increased revenue by doing that. So if they're doing that, then we should all just make it less chaotic, less items on the menu, and we can serve more people because then our time is free to be able to put more into serving our clients.
It's a brilliant comment, Liz. Everyone or most people know the expression, a confused buyer does not buy. They get so lost in decisions. And I want to give you a patent example. One of the things we do is get people interviewed on television, magazines, newspapers, etc. Just imagine you're about to walk into ABC, and there's pure chaos. You know, the script director's gone, the director's out to lunch, the camera operators are, out in the back smoking. There are times you need absolute structure in your life. You want, and again, this is the metaphor, you want that interview to feature you beautifully. So we work with stations that have that structure in place. It's vitally important. And I'm going to go back, get rid of 12 options. Confused mind just gets lost.
Absolutely.
I think there's a little bit of good chaos though when you're finding your way. So like how I think of a business is it's like a container that you're creating, which has structure. So it has sales and marketing and has finance and banking and collections and it has other things in it too, employees, teams, assistants, and all that kind of stuff. And you're in the center of it. And when you have a good system in place, when you have lots of good systems in place, it can really function. But when you're starting out and you're trying to find your way in the industry, in the coaching industry, what is my specialty? I think what can become a problem is you're multi-talented. Okay. Like I have a CPA, I'm a horse trainer, I'm a healer, I'm a shaman. I have all of these multidimensional talents, right? And I'm a visionary and I can come up with ideas like all over the place. And I remember when I was in my early 20s, before the internet really even took off, I always was asking, like, I need a scribe to like pick up my, now there's like actually an app called a Scribe I just found the other day. Okay. So it's like, all of these ideas that you're having about your business, if you can think of your business as a container and get business coaching too with people who know how to structure the container, You can really, you can have lots of ideas, but you can decide which idea is good right now for me where I'm at. And the other thing that was coming to me earlier when we were talking
That's
about
a boundary.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
When we were talking about moving from being an employee to an entrepreneur, or even a homemaker into an entrepreneur, like a mother who's now going to become an entrepreneur, you have systems that you learned in those industries. Everybody has worked for a business if you're an employee, okay? And there was structure there. So do not throw out the bathwater
Exactly.
because you have become an entrepreneur. You take the systems that you know how to run with already and take them and put them in the business that you're creating. And even if they seemed really simple, like doing laundry and washing dishes and all that kind of stuff, taking care of kids is not simple.
By
There
any
are
means.
so many systems that you have installed. Being an employee who knows how to read your email and learn all the software of your job and all that kind of stuff, those are systems you have learned. Take what you've already know and put it into your business structure for yourself, because I've seen that be forgotten.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So good.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give you all an opportunity to kind of highlight what it is you do and what your specialty is. I gave a very vague, very general, quick description at the beginning, but I would love for you all to maybe just take a minute and share with our audience who you are and how you help people. And then once we've all gone through that, let's talk about maybe what you're going to offer on the summit. Okay. Would anyone like to get us started here?
I will.
Go for it,
Nobody
Liz.
else is doing-
Wait, and
Okay.
you guys, I'm going to do a little technology thing. I'm going to try to highlight you. So
Okay.
don't get distracted. I just highlighted myself. Let me try to highlight Liz here. Okay, you go ahead, Liz.
All right. Hi, I'm Liz Rankin, and I am writing a book called Girl, Just Make the Damn Decision. I help women make a decision, which is a struggle for a lot of us, built on a lot of our limiting beliefs, our childhood. I've realized a lot of that decision making came up for me in growing a business and becoming a mom and being a successful CEO of my own company. I also am a women's coach, a women's business coach, and I truly believe that the woman herself, she is the asset. And I help women to create different revenues, whether it's a membership, I've had experience in all of this, creating memberships, creating digital products, or creating a high ticket coaching program based off of her skill set, based off of her God-given gifts, the skills. Like Jennifer was saying, your 9 to 5, the things that you learn there can be pivoted into creating income for yourself. And my purpose is to create a beautiful life. I've done it for myself and my 4 daughters. And I want that ripple effect to hit every woman. She is capable. She herself is an asset. She has a story. She's gone through the trial and error of life. And it's her obligation to share that with the world. That's truly what I believe. For the summit, I am offering a workbook that goes with my book, Girl, Just Make the Damn Decision. The workbook is going to help women free themselves of the decision fatigue, the boundaries that they're not placing, all of the things that come up when it's creating your best possible life through decision making and just getting it done. Because no decision is a wrong decision, but you need to make a decision to be able to move forward.
Perfect. Beautiful, Liz. So who wants to go next? Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're going to be offering at the summit.
All right. No matter how good you are, no matter, even if you're the best in the field, if no one knows about you, you have a hobby, not a business. We work with people to get you from hidden to headliner, whether it's being featured in a big city magazine. You may not know the magazine. You certainly know that, oh, it's backwards. And being featured on the other side and having a feature article or creating a #1 best-selling book. These are the things we do. Put you on stages. You must become top of mind awareness So when people think of your space, it's not you or somebody else, it's you. When you have sizzle reels from being on ABC, when you have reprints from being on magazines, and it doesn't make a difference what country you're in, Jennifer, we've got people all over the world.
Mhm.
So I was on the phone yesterday, Friday, from someone from Mauritius. I had to look it up to see where it is. And they live in a wonderful place. Point is, you've got to have top of mind awareness. You need to have people think of you first. And this book, the trusteconomybook.com, you can take you see what the book's about. We're done with the transaction age. It's about building relationships. And that's what this whole book is about.
And what are you offering at the summit?
Find out how well you are known in the media. richardk.com/quiz-ice. Nothing to do with politics. It's influence, credibility, and exposure. And if you want to have a conversation, talk about publicity.com. Let's explore how to get you to the top of the world. Thanks.
All
Thanks
right.
again for the opportunity.
Of course. Excellent. All right. And who's going to go next?
I will.
All right.
I
Susan.
will. Hey, I've loved this conversation. So let me first say thank you for that, because it's been a great conversation. As much as we're helping others as they watch, it's helping me too. So thank you. And for me, my gift is helping people see again who they truly are and live into that, as opposed to the role that they played out in the world prior. You know, we've all been taught how to play roles, and most of us are very, very good at them. However, underneath all of those roles are the core of who we are and where our gifts are. And you get to the point where you can actually take your gifts and use them the way you want them to. You want to use them, as opposed to how you adapt them to your roles. I've often said I can get pleasure from cleaning a bathroom because it shines at the end. I don't like cleaning the bathroom, right? But I love to make it shine. So I love to see people shine, right? I take that gift and I apply it wherever I go. But when you get to live who you authentically are every day, a whole new world opens up for you. And so I work with people to let them reconnect with the core of who they really are, without all the layers that have been put on top of us. And then beyond that, you need somebody to walk with you through that journey. And every time your past pulls you over and says, oh, you can't do that. We were talking about, right? All those things that we were fed as kids. You need somebody, or somebody's actually, who can be there for you and say, don't listen to them, right? No. Let's get back on track. Remember who you are, what you do, this is what your gift is. Right. And I have I offer people the opportunity to have little conversations with me. I call it Susie on standby. And so you can just contact me, by X amount of sessions, and contact me when you need me, not when your next coaching session is a week from Thursday,
Right.
because we all get stuck. Right. And so I love to help people get unstuck quickly so they can just move past whatever that little thing is and then go forward. So those are the two ways that I really work with people the most, to be able to help them quickly and authentically move through who they are and make a bigger impact in the world.
And Susan,
So-
do you remember what your gift is that you're offering?
I do remember, because it's so
Summit?
important to me. Yes.
Yeah.
My gift for everybody is I put together a little packet, a personality guide, I call it, so that you can sit down for a few minutes, and literally a few minutes, and look at a couple of pieces of paper and say, yep, that's me. That's exactly who I am. You're right. That's what's most important to me. This is what's not important to me. This is where I have my little weak area. This is where my real strength is. And you can do it so quickly, and then start to live into that. So I'm offering everybody the personality guide that I put together.
That's
And
awesome.
beyond that, a conversation to go with it with me.
Excellent. Yay, we love that. Thank you, Susan. And Jennifer.
Hi. I really truly believe that your business is your most valuable asset. And I believe that it is your vehicle for freedom, prosperity, and impact. And I really want to help you get there, but you have to let go of all the financial pressure all of the money worries and anxieties so that you can get to creating this container that is your, you know, your vehicle for your legacy. Even it's for your purpose. It's for your purpose. And I have a background in being a chartered professional accountant. I have a background in being a horse race trainer. I have a background in being a shaman. And I use all of those skills to really help you take your business and make it into like a Learjet, something that takes you to where you want to go. And I've seen so many people really avoid the money side of the business when they're starting up, because they're creating the foundation. I did it myself, even. Like, you're creating your foundation. What am I doing? Why am I here? Who am I? And, you know, I'm not making money right now anyway, so I don't need to pay attention to that side of my business. Well, that's dangerous. That's dangerous, because I've done it myself, and I've seen hundreds, 95% of the entrepreneurs who came through the firms were so behind, were looking at incomplete information, and weren't paying attention to the money side of your business. Well, the sales is really connected to the money side of your business, and money loves to be paid attention to, is what I'm really getting very clear on. And the more you have a really good relationship with money, the more money you can make. And the more money you can make means that you can do those charitable donations, that you can be more generous, that you can actually have scholarships for your programs and all those kinds of things and help more people. But you have to look at it. And I'm calling it Get Current. So my gift is called Get Current. And it's an assessment. And it gives you the 9 hidden signs that you are getting in the way of your freedom, your impact, and your prosperity. It helps you to take it a look at it right away. And like I said earlier, like if you're not obeying that boundary that you set for yourself, like if you're not able to like live into it, you need to go deeper. And I don't believe in fixing. I believe in noticing. And so when you start looking at something, it starts to transform right away. So once you start looking at your money, it starts transforming.
Love that.
And so this quiz is just a way for you to start looking at your money habits, your patterns around money, and it will start transforming something for you right away.
Love that. And I'm so excited for us to do whenever we can do our woo-woo money session for Woo Wednesdays here on Spiritual Business Power. That's going to be so fun. I'm really, really excited about that. And, you know, just I'll do my intro and just say my name is Crystalline Bell. I'm the founder of the Spiritual Business Hour and the Liberated Coach Summit. And I put this summit together based on 5 shackles. There are these things that lock us as women coaches into place. There's a shackle around our mind. That means that we are not thinking and accessing our greatest creativity. There's a shackle around our time, which means that our time is not our own. It's like we're enslaved or we're chained to something else in our business, which we love, but we don't need to be a slave to it. There's a shackle around the business itself, where the business is not allowed to grow beyond what we allow it to grow. We're not letting our business turn into a real business. We're letting our business stay a job for us. And, you know, that is not really why it is coming through, and it is not why we are doing it. There's also a shackle around our money, where we're not expanding and having as much money as we deserve and as much money as we want. And the last shackle is around our pleasure, where so many coaches are doing all the other things other than coaching. So we are working on funnels. We are working on doing social media and trying to keep up with all the networking and doing all the email funnels and all these things. And none of that has anything to do with coaching. We are doing the things to try to get clients, but we're not actually getting the clients. And so all of those are shackles. And That's why I built the summit, because all these speakers and the other remaining speakers are all going to talk to one of those shackles during their talk, and they're all going to give a gift. My gift is a quiz which will help you understand what level that shackle is functioning for you. My assumption is that nobody's perfect. We all are dealing with the 5 shackles on some level, and the quiz is going to help you uncover at what level you're functioning. And then there's a guidebook that will go through all the shackles and help you break free. It's going to give you some tools and tips that you can use to break free, but it's going to actually take you through a process so that you can break free. So we have the link to join the summit. There is a QR code in the upper right or upper left of your screen. You can use that to join. Zaina has dropped the link to join the summit in the comments. And we hope that you'll join us there. It's absolutely free to attend. And I hope also that you have enjoyed today's episode of the Spiritual Business Hour with not just Crystalline Bell, but with Susan Winter, Jennifer Seifert, Dr. Richard Kay, and Liz Rankin. So thanks everyone for joining. We'll go ahead and sign off now. All right. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.